AFR On Demand is brought to you by Breck Golf. Try Beaver Creek today, just 20 minutes from downtown Baton Rouge in the Zachary area. They've got a PGA Tour driving range, a short game practice area, 30 to 40-yard practice shots. It's a great place to chip and putt and practice if you don't have time for a full round. Book your tee time today, golf.breck.org, golf.breck.org.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Raising Cane studio.
Let's ride!
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Musso. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Sam Spiegelman will be here about 13 minutes. Get a recap of signing day. How the early signing period went, not only for LSU, which is still ahead, and for the rest of the conference. We'll do all that coming up here again in about a dozen minutes from right now. We're glad you're hanging out with us here. What to watch later this early hourly. Sterling will be here with his best bets. We've got a lot to get here. Mike Triplett in hour number 3. The New Orleans Saints back on the practice field as they prepare for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So yesterday, the gigantic news of the day around the New Orleans Saints was whenever you looked at the injury report, you had 4 starters, 3 of them offensive, that were all absent from practice, all DNPs. Well, there's another player on the injury report here on Thursday, but a little bit of good news, though, for one player. That's Chris Olave. So Olave was a DNP on Wednesday and then was limited on Thursday. So he was back at practice but limited, again with a back injury. The other 3 players from a day ago that were DNPs, Taliesin Fuaga, Alvin Kamara, Justin Reed, all still DNPs, but now they've added Jonas Sanker as a DNP with a head injury. So that means Sanker was injured very likely at Wednesday's practice and now did not practice on Thursday. When we talk about a head injury, I think we would make the assumption that would be a concussion. So hope not, don't know, and I am being speculative, just admitting to you there, I am being speculative. But you're talking about Justin Reed out with a knee injury, DNP, and now Jonas Sanker, his backup, also, or the other starting safety there, also out now. I mean, you could be really vulnerable in that secondary against Tampa if you're down both Reed and Sanker, and you have Sugarwater McKinstry out there at corner. I mean, it could be a real problem for New Orleans and Tampa. So let's see how it goes Friday. Generally speaking, if you're not at least out at practice in a limited capacity on Friday, it's unlikely that you're going to trend toward playing on Sunday. So the Saints could be without Fuaga, Kamara, Reed, Sanker. Looks like Olave's trending toward getting back, but not ideal for New Orleans as they're getting ready to go down to Tampa, a team that really put the Saints in a stranglehold earlier this year. Real quickly, though, by the way, when Kellen Moore met with reporters on Wednesday, he was asked about Justin Reed and if there's a possibility of him going to IR with the knee injury. This was the update.
Justin, just a knee, so we'll see. We'll see how this thing progresses this week.
Obviously, it hasn't reached a point that you put him on IR immediately. So
it's not an IR thing, but we'll just kind of see how this thing goes.
And then he was also asked about Taliesin Fuaga and an update there.
Did Tali re-aggravate the ankle in the game?
Different ankle. So yeah.
So different ankle from the injury prior. So my goodness. You hate to say that or see that for Fuaga, who's such a good, promising young player. I'd argue he's the Saints' best offensive lineman right now. At a more natural position there at the right side too, but got to get back on the field. What did Mike D always say? The best ability is availability. See if you can get out there. And one more, Olave missing practice on Wednesday, but back on Thursday.
I mean, it's a back, so it's going to you play a full game the way he did. Obviously, it's going to be sore, and so he's just navigating that, and so we'll let that progress. Obviously, he's doing some good though. All
right, so that's the word from Ellen as the Saints are getting ready to head down to Tampa. As for the Bucs, their injury report is decidedly longer than New Orleans, but not quite as impactful. So Tristan Wirfs is the big one. Their big offensive tackle has missed 2 days of practice here with an oblique injury. We'll see what it looks like Friday if they get him out on the field. Limited participants. Mike Evans, who was his 21-day window to return from IR, was opened up, so he would be available to play if they want to activate him. We'll see if they do. And then Jalen McMillan also on IR with his 21-day window open. So a couple of wide receivers could be coming back. Everyone else listed on the injury report were all full participants. Chris Godwin, full participant. Bucky Irving, full participant. Baker Mayfield was full. Benjamin Morrison, Hassan Reddick, Rashad Wisdom, all full. So the Bucs have more players on the injury report, but really Wirfs would be the one that's a little bit up in the air, reading between the lines here on Tampa's injury report as they get ready to take on New Orleans this weekend down in Tampa. So we talked about it's a big one for Tampa, y'all. They're hard to believe because Tampa looked like early in the year they were running away with this division, but Carolina is above 500, and now Tampa, after a 3-game losing streak, is just a half a game ahead of Carolina in the division. Now, they play twice in the final 5 weeks, Carolina and Tampa do. So this is going to work itself out, and Tampa controls its own destiny. But, man, if you end up in a tiebreak scenario and you're Tampa, this is a division game where a division game tiebreak scenario would be massively beneficial. If you're Tampa, this is one that you have to circle and say, like, you've got to go get this game. You cannot drop this game and put so much pressure on your games ahead with Carolina and Atlanta still ahead. So Saints at Bucs on Sunday. We'll keep an eye on the injury report before Friday's practice, or after Friday's practice, I should say. All right, we're brought to you by Parish Restoration, parishrestoration.com. I do want to, you're in just a second. Blake Groupie kind of took a shot at the Saints. Whole poopy Groupie, like he's got room to talk. We'll get to that in a second. Parish Restoration, kill mold, remove odor, tons of rain right here over the last day. If with rain you realize you got water in your home, your office, whatever it may be, chances are like you just started to see that little water spot on your roof or on the wall. Chances are like that didn't just start today. You're only now seeing it. So if that water has been there for a while, accumulating, you could very well have mold as well. Maybe it's in your walls and the insulation. One way to find out, let our friends at Parish Restoration come check it out. Go to parishrestoration.com, parishrestoration.com. Kill mold, remove odor, other harmful pathogens. It's a patented, non-toxic dry fog, so it's safe for your family, it's safe for your pets, safe for your plants. It's parishrestoration.com. You want a free quote on what it costs to knock out mold, other harmful pathogens, odor, sanitize your space? Go to parishrestoration.com. Fill out the form on the homepage. They'll be in touch. Parishrestoration.com. All right, Saints cut Poopy Groupie, and the Irish guy, Smythe, whatever we call him, no, really, Charlie, he nailed a 56-yarder, his first kick ever. Good for you. Blake Groupie got picked up this week by the Indianapolis Colts. With Michael Badgley going a little sideways, they waived him on Tuesday. They worked out Justin Tucker and Blake Groupie. They ended up signing, Indianapolis did, Blake Groupie to their practice squad. And Blake Groupie, during some media availability, kind of took a little swipe at his former team.
Well, first of all, it's been awesome to watch this team and everything that, this team's been working towards, with everything that's gone on this year with them, and being able to watch that from afar, but to now be a part of it and, feel like I'm playing meaningful football and that, we're all working towards something here together.
So am I to read between the lines there, Blake, that because you weren't playing meaningful football that maybe you didn't kick as well? Or maybe, Blake, the reason the Saints weren't playing meaningful football in part was because you kept missing kicks and cost the team an opportunity to win a couple games there in the first month? Maybe. I don't want to read too much into it. I don't know that I can maybe understand what he was saying a little bit there, but just say nice things when the mic's on. Don't give angry, bald-headed, bearded idiots like me the opportunity to yell about you and point out the error of your ways and to call you things like poopy groupie. Don't do that, Blake. Just go kick. Have yourself a good career. Hope it works out for you. All right, it's after further review. Thursday shows are presented by Decision Critical, Concierge Nursing. Maybe you got a difficult diagnosis. Maybe it's hospice coming into the home. You need expertly trained nurses, the best nurses, every nurse handpicked by Blazia. You need Decision Critical. Maybe you're a physician. If you're not familiar with Decision Critical, you need to be, so you can refer your patients to Decision Critical because they can carry out your orders in the home. So many physicians refer their patients to Decision Critical. You want to have that exploratory phone call or face-to-face meeting conversation with Blazia? Highly recommend 10 out of 10. DecisionCriticalBR.com. All right, let's talk some Crute. And Sam Spiegelman will put a button on the first day of the early signing period when we come back here at AFR.
AFR.
Holidays are here. Probably got family coming in town. And if you dread the thought of family staying at your house, got a great idea. How about you recommend they stay downtown at Watermark Baton Rouge? It's the premier hotel property in Baton Rouge. Now, you love your family. We can love our family, but not love that our family stays with us for a week. Maybe you do. But Watermark Baton Rouge, gorgeous. Baton Rouge's premier hotel property, picture of luxury from the moment you walk in the door. Some amazingly creative guest rooms as well. This was the old Louisiana National Bank building. There's one guest room that runs alongside where an elevator shaft was and bank vault. So there's no windows in the room, but there's skylights. I'm telling you, there are some amazing, amazing opportunities to go explore that place, the history in that building at Watermark Baton Rouge. Maybe it's dinner or brunch at the Gregory. Maybe it's wine or cocktail at the lobby bar. Whatever you do, make sure you visit Watermark Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalBR.com.
There's a little bit of breaking news here. Billy Napier is working to finalize a deal to become the next head coach at James Madison. Chris Lowe among those reporting it, Matt Zenitz. So this is significant from an LSU perspective because, as we've told you here, the top two candidates for the Tulane job kind of have been Billy Napier and Blake Baker. We'll go into some more detail about this here in just a bit, but as I've been told, the athletic director there at Tulane favored a coach with head coaching experience, which is why favored Napier. It felt like a lot of the boosters were backing Blake Baker. So with Napier now out of the running for Tulane, does that open the door now for Blake Baker to take that job? I'll tell you that Memphis also has very significant interest. I was told today Memphis has offered Blake Baker a contract. Now, I was also told that number is less than what he's making at LSU. So I cannot imagine Blake Baker leaving LSU for Memphis at a pay cut. Now, maybe Memphis could increase their offer, but it would certainly stand to reason with Napier off the board. Neil Brown was another potential candidate for the Tulane job. He's off the board, having accepted the North Texas job. Those dominoes are falling, man, and it certainly sounds and feels like what has to be the prohibitive favorite now would be Blake Baker. And I don't know that Tulane has offered the job. I'm not reporting that at all. I'm using deductive reasoning here. So there is heavy interest. from Tulane in Blake Baker. Baker has interviewed for the Tulane job. He played there. And I know that LSU wants to keep Blake Baker, and they're willing to give him a contract extension and a raise to stay. But my goodness, if your alma mater starts coming calling, knocking, going to give you your first head coaching job at your alma mater where you played, and they're going to give you a raise and all that sort of stuff, that's going to be hard to turn down if, in fact, Tulane does offer the job. I'll work to confirm whether or not that has been offered to Blake Baker. I don't know that. But what I do know is Baker has interviewed with Tulane, and he has been offered by Memphis. We'll see. We'll continue to follow it. If we have breaking news, we'll let you know. All right, it's after further review. First day of the early signing period in the rearview mirror. Prospects still have until Friday in this early signing period if they want to put pen to paper. Sam Spiegelman's covering it all. Is good enough to join us here. Sam, how are you, man?
I'm staying alive, Matt. How about yourself?
I hear you. I know this is the busy season for you, so we appreciate you making time. Give me, if you would, a sense on the first day of the early signing period. I guess you're into day 2 for Lane Kiffin.
Yeah, I think so far so good. I mean, Lane Kiffin is putting his stamp on LSU. He's been able to keep the majority of the main pieces in the state of Louisiana signed already. We know that Big Rich Anderson's signature came in today, and we are expecting that, by tomorrow, the end of this early signing period, the number one player in the country, Lamar Brown, from the foot of LSU's campus at U-High, will probably follow suit. So along with signing guys like Isaiah Washington and Jabari Mack, and a couple of other great pieces inside the state, LSU's class is pretty much intact for a coaching transition where there's going to be a lot of new faces in and around that building, which it's hard to always maintain a class when there's not a lot of continuity, but so far so good. And I think that we already have gotten some reviews from not only Kiffin, but Billy Glasscock, the new general manager in Baton Rouge, that they are going to hit the transfer portal hard because they expect to compete next season.
Let's, if we could, Sam, talk about the other guys that are still unsigned and what you might be able to tell us right now. We mentioned Lamar Brown there just a second ago, but he's not the only one that's still unsigned. Yet Henderson and Deuce Gerald's is still unsigned as well. I feel like I'm forgetting one more that's still unsigned. But what do you know about the guys that haven't yet put pen to paper that are committed to LSU's class?
Yeah, let's start with Lamar Brown. Obviously, he's the number one player in the state, number one player in the country, and the centerpiece of this class for 2026. The expectation is that he is going to sign as early as this week. His agent has left things open. They would like to see how the rest of the staff shakes out. But as of another meeting on Thursday, this is trending in the right direction for LSU to get Lamar Brown on board, which would be an incredibly massive step forward for Lane Kiffin and his staff as they head into the portal season. Deuce Gerald, of course, has been very connected to Frank Wilson. Frank coached his father, Gavin Gerald, at Ole Miss. His father played for Scotlandville High School. Deuce was born in Baton Rouge and was infatuated with the idea of getting coached by someone who coached his dad. Since Frank Wilson's job remains up in the air, Deuce Gerald has been exploring his other options. That includes Ole Miss, where, again, his father played, as well as Georgia Tech has come on very strong with Deuce Gerald. Brent Key looks like he's staying in Atlanta. He has been recruiting that state and given Georgia some run for a lot of prospects across the Peach State over the last couple of years with some big wins. And they're making a very lucrative pitch to Deuce Gerald, who is the Georgia all-time sack leader, to stay home and play close to home. And much like we've alluded to with any coaching transition, while the in-state kids largely want to play for LSU and we're on track to, it's a different story with out-of-state kids. And, Trenton Henderson out of the Pensacola area, before LSU started to surge in that recruitment, Florida State, and Miami were all very much involved. So was Auburn, and a lot of those universities have new head coaches that are familiar with Mr. Henderson, and they're not going down swinging, especially with some uncertainty on who's going to be on this defensive staff. Trenton Henderson has had his ear to some more local schools in Florida and across the Southeast.
The other one was Bryson Cooley that I omitted. What can you tell us there?
Yeah, this is getting interesting. Bryson Cooley, obviously, it was pretty significant when he committed from the state of Mississippi, when he was coveted by Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and still committed to Brad Davis and the Tigers. Of course, we don't know what Brad Davis's future holds, but we know that LSU is still swinging here. Ole Miss is now swinging again, but Alabama has kind of emerged as a favorite for Bryson Cooley down the stretch. For a time, it looked like Jeff Lebby and the Bulldogs were going to get it done. Now it looks like Kalen DeBoer and the Tide are trending at the right time. This is trending away from LSU right now.
Sam Spiegelman is our guest. Let me ask about Landon Duckworth as well. What you could tell us about that, Sam. It seemed as though on Wednesday that he was going to pick LSU. Now today he sticks with his commit at South Carolina. What happened there?
Yeah, Landon Duckworth has had a very roller coaster of a recruitment. You have to remember he was committed to South Carolina as an underclassman, and for long stretches of his recruitment, one of the best quarterbacks in this 2026 class had UCF as one of his leaders. It's been all over the place. LSU had made an in-season run at Landon Duckworth. They got into this recruitment very late, but made noise pretty quickly, got him on campus, couldn't get him to come back for an official visit. We know that at one point in his recruitment, Ole Miss was the prohibitive favorite for Landon Duckworth. Obviously, Charlie Weiss, Lane Kiffin, and guys that were in the LSU building like Kelvin Bolden were all huge parts of that recruitment. So there's a lot of momentum favoring LSU with a kid who lives just outside of Mobile, Alabama, where LSU has recruited very hard over the last 10-plus years, and before that even as well. South Carolina has always been infatuated with this kid. Shane Beamer has taken a huge role in recruiting this young man. And like I said, he was previously committed to South Carolina. So Shane Beamer has been in this kid's life for 3+ years at this point. I think he feels comfortable going to South Carolina instead of going to LSU, where he never took that OV and really has one game day experience under his belt.
Couple more for you, Sam. We appreciate the time. Sam Spiegelman is with us. Chris Henry didn't sign with Ohio State. I know there's flip predictions to Oregon I saw today. Are hearing maybe some scuttle that LSU might get in the mix there. What can you tell us is the latest there for Chris Henry?
Well, Matt, when Lane Kiffin got to LSU, I think we all know that part of the motivation was that he was going to have a large sum of NIL money to compete with some of these other blue bloods around the country for some of these prospects like Chris Henry, who is by most websites the number one receiver in the country. Of course, his dad is from Bell Chase and played in the NFL. LSU has had his interest for various stretches of his recruitment. He was an early commitment to Brian Hartline and Ohio State, has never wavered from that, but has continued to explore his options. I think he's been to LSU one time in the past 2 or so years, but there's been confidence in Eugene, not just this week, but for a couple of weeks building up. We know that Oregon has made a very competitive NIL pitch, and now that he played his senior season over at Mater Dei, Eugene becomes a somewhat localer option for him on the West Coast. We know that USC has been exploring here. We know that Texas has his attention very late as they're looking to add another 5-star to their class. I wouldn't say that LSU is not in this race or out of this race. I just think they have some pretty stiff competition, but it will tell you a lot about what NIL, what funds LSU is able to work with their NIL, depending on how serious they can get into this race late.
And to Sam's point, you mentioned Brian Hartline, who obviously left or is leaving Ohio State to go be the head coach now at USF. So that being a key part of his recruitment there, his coach is no longer at Ohio State. So we'll see how that all plays out. Hey, one more for you, Sam. Your time very much appreciated. SEC storylines. What else in the first 36 hours or so here of the early signing period popped for you?
You know, I know it's local, but it has been one of the biggest stories is Richard Anderson and Lamar Brown went from being very excited about the Lane Kiffin hire to then a point where they were not going to sign this week. You know, maybe it's because it's a little bit more local. Maybe it's because it's been one of the most popular stories on our website for the last couple of days. But the amount of progress that Lane Kiffin and Billy Glasscock have made with not only these commits and their high school coaches and their parents and their agents We have heard some really remarkable reviews of not just Lane Kiffin, but Billy Glasscock, who is someone who I'm not too familiar with. I know that he was with Lane in Oxford. I know he has experience in Austin working at Texas. But a lot of the reviews I've gotten from high school coaches, from parents, from kids, is that this is a very impressive man who has a real vision for assembling rosters. So certainly the evidence speaks for itself. With Big Rich Anderson, the number one defensive lineman on the board. This has been shaping well for LSU this whole time. If they're able to get Lamar Brown in the bag by the end of the week, I think that speaks volumes about the direction of where this LSU football operation is going, because they're going to be on track to sign the most important recruits inside the state, and they're going to have their amenities to make a run in the transfer portal to fill key needs like quarterback and offensive line, you name it. There's a lot of holes, but signing this class and then hitting the portal with that ammunition bodes very well for the future of this program.
He is Sam Spiegelman. Get him on Twitter at Sam Spiegs, national recruiting analyst there for Rivals. And man, it's a busy time, so thanks for carving out a few minutes for us. We always appreciate it.
Yep, thanks for having me, Matt.
All right, buddy, be well. Sam Spiegelman. It's AFR. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, shawbillstire.com. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. If you are going over the hills and through the woods, or over the river, over the hills and far away, over the river and through the woods. To grandmother's house we go. Hey, you can always go get your tires at Shawbills. How about this holiday giveaway alert? They're giving away a free set of 4 Michelin Defender LTX MS, medium small, 2 tires, built for rugged durability no matter the season. If you want to know how you can enter, pretty easy. Just go to Shawbills on any of their social media, and you'll see the video right there at Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. You want to check it out, you can do so on their Facebook or their Instagram, all those places, how you can enter to win a free set of Michelin tires from Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com. It's Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. All right, it is After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. Let's see, Mike Triplett in 1 hour from right now. We'll knock out a quick break. Lee Sterling in 15 minutes. He'll be here for his best bets. We'll get to what to watch this football weekend. I do want to talk a little bit more detail about Blake Baker and that whole situation, so we'll get to it. Glad you're hanging out with us here on a Thursday edition of AFR, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Stick around.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys, tell you every single day, if you've been injured in an accident, it's not your fault. Do what injured people in our state have done for 3 decades. Get Gordon and get it done. GetGordon.com. GetGordon.com. I love they've changed the avatar, the profile pic on all of Gordon's social media to Gordon with a Santa hat on. And, of course, you sort of feel like it, no doubt. It's that time of year how Gordon's giving away 600 free bicycles to less fortunate children around the state of Louisiana. You can always go to GordonsBikes.com, GordonsBikes.com, GordonsBikes.com to get more information about how you can enter in one of 600 bicycles across the state of Louisiana. Always love telling you about it. The deadline is coming up to enter, and it's December the 7th, so you got 3 more days if you want to enter to win one of 600 bicycles for a less fortunate child in our state. Go to GordonsBikes.com. Get Gordon and get it done.
After Further Review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at DecisionCriticalBR.com.
All right, rolling along. Take that one out. Never play that one again. Yeah, whatever that. I don't know what that is. Let's never do that.
I had it queued to the wrong spot. That's actually my bad. My bad.
Well, it's not my fault.
Well, I didn't say it was your fault.
You're like, my bad. Well, of course it's your fault.
I'm accepting responsibility. It's a noble thing to do.
You're the one with the buttons. Of course it's your fault. We all know it's your fault. 4:36, right on time. Panama Red.
Would that actually be right on time, though?
Yeah.
Feels like it's 16 minutes late.
No, it's when it would hit.
Okay. How would you know?
Because wouldn't it stand to reason that you wouldn't just, you're the expert. You tell
Not.
me. Your voice went really high pitched there.
I know, that was weird.
An obvious sign of guilt. Paul, isn't it an obvious sign of guilt when someone's voice goes really high?
100%.
See?
That's, of course, Paul. Yeah.
Who do you think you're kidding? Puff the Magic Dragon. All right, what to watch, hit it.
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
All right, Panama Red, fire away.
All right, we'll start on Friday night. Yeoman Stadium, American Championship.
Went right with it.
North Texas and Tulane. Ranked on ranked matchup. Stands to reason the winner of this will obviously get the highest ranked group of 5 champion, whatever, into the college football playoff. So that's noticeable. But you have 2 coaches here, Eric Morris, John Summerall. They're out the door. Which one has their team better focused, better prepared to go win this game with the playoff spot on the line? North Texas, by the way, 2.5-point road favorite. Something to keep an eye on there.
I'm going to be watching the Big Ten Championship. Indiana versus Ohio State, number 1 versus number 2. Both teams 12-0. For the first time in more than a decade and just the third time since conference championship games were standardized, the nation's top-ranked teams will play for a title. The Buckeyes and Hoosiers are in similar positions. They're both playoff locks with a good chance for first-round bye no matter what happens.
Okay, so Muse mentioned about Tulane, North Texas. The winner of that game is going to be the highest-ranked G5. But James Madison's not out of it. So you got to watch the Sun Belt Championship, but also the ACC Championship. Unlikely as it may be, if Duke beats Virginia, then it's unlikely that the 8-5 ACC champion Duke Blue Devils would be in over James Madison. So if James Madison beats Troy in the Sun Belt and Duke beats Virginia, James Madison's likely in the playoff.
Big 12 Championship, BYU and North Texas, a matchup that it's going to be a rematch. Texas Tech handled them. But what I'm curious, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm interested if BYU wins, if there's a way that the Big 12 gets 2 bids. I don't think it's going to happen, but if they win convincingly after avenging that loss, perhaps there is a path.
To the NFL, I'll be watching Steelers-Ravens. Both teams currently 6-6, and believe it or not, this game will determine the leader in the AFC North. Aaron Rodgers turned 42 on Tuesday, and he's very much looked like his age as of late. His 10 completions last week against Buffalo were a career low in a game in which he started and finished.
Okay, I'll mention it. SEC Championship. Alabama is 10-1 in the last 11 against Georgia, dating back to 2008. That doesn't make a lick of sense at all. Georgia, when they're playing Alabama, it's more like they're playing the logo than anything else. I would really love to see Georgia just obliterate Alabama and knock them out of the college football playoff. So I will certainly be hate watching Alabama on Saturday.
Colts and Jags. Don't look now, but the Indianapolis Colts have company, and it's the Jacksonville Jaguars at the top of the AFC South. They've lost 3 of 4, has Indianapolis. All of a sudden, after that great start, 7-1 start, they're hanging on to the division and potentially their playoff lives. That one's for first place.
Bears and Packers. Bears are one of the bigger surprise teams in the NFL at 9-3. They're coming off that Black Friday win over the slumping Eagles. These 2 teams will meet 2 of the next 3 weeks, so this could determine how the NFC North ultimately shakes out.
Pillow fight! Dolphins! Jets! The battle for the bottom! Right there with New Orleans. I don't really care who wins, just the battle for the bottom. And so we're going to keep an eye on it because that's who the Saints are going to be battling with for the first overall pick. Pillow fight! All right, there you have it. That's what we're watching. We'll see how it goes this weekend. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank, vinyl siding. They do it all. They do it better than anyone. If you walk by, you notice this. There's like a window in our bathroom, like where there's like a little separate part where the commode is. There's a window right there. You want to stand up, to take a leak. Anyway. You stand right by the window, you kind of feel the cold, right? The draft. That's one window we did not have replaced by Relief Windows, and it's so evident because you could feel that cool air getting in because there's costly air leaks. You want to make your home more energy efficient? You call Relief Windows, you let them come out, they install energy efficient replacement windows. It'll increase your home's resale value. It'll make your home more energy efficient, lowering your energy bills in time. These will pay for themselves as an investment into your home. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, they do shutters too. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. All right, y'all, glad you're hanging out with us here on a Thursday edition of AFR presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Mike Triplett's coming up in hour number 3. I do want to get to the latest on Blake Baker. We'll do that coming up right after the top of the hour here in about 20 minutes. Let me break. We'll come back. Lee Sterling from Paramount Sports joins us every single Thursday, gives us his best bets for the weekend. We'll do that next on AFR.
AFR.
If you are thinking about selling your home, you got to call Darren James. Darren offers clear communication. He checks in with you every step of the way. Also, Darren offers an easy exit listing agreement. So you're never locked into a contract that you can't leave. If at any point throughout the process you're not thrilled, fire him. Darren will let you out of a contract free and clear. So you don't have to worry about getting locked into 3-month, 6-month contract. But trust me when I tell you, you will be thrilled with the level of service and the results. Darren guarantees he'll sell your home. Actually, it's a guaranteed sale program. Sit down with Darren, agree to a price and a deadline. If he doesn't sell your home at that price by that deadline, he'll have your home bought with cash or he'll sell it for free. What do you have to lose? Start packing. Call Darren James today. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Decision Critical Concierge Nursing. Healthcare for your lifestyle. Learn more at decisioncriticalbr.com.
Place your bets, gentlemen.
It's time to head to the window.
Don't gamble it all in one place.
This is Lee Sterling's Best Bets, brought to you by Paramount Sports.
And we welcome aboard Lee Sterling as we wrap up hour number 2. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good, except for Tuesday night. I mean, that was, I don't know what I was more upset seeing, how Miami didn't move up at all, or Hunter Yurachek, his interview afterwards. You have to admit that was disgraceful,
Lee,
right?
I'll tell you honestly, I have not watched the college football playoff selection rankings probably in 5 years. So I have no idea what they said.
Okay, so this is what you need to do.
It could not be more wholly irrelevant until the final ranking, so I don't even bother.
Right. Well, well, if you have a team that's on, the cut line, obviously you want to watch it. But what was so bad was they asked him afterwards about them moving Alabama up one spot, and he talked about how he was impressed how they got off to a 17-0 lead, how they had a great 4th and 2 call for a touchdown, and then how they made a stop to end the game. This was against an Auburn team that was 5-7, starting a quarterback, only his second start ever, and a team without a head coach. He didn't mention that Miami beat a ranked team, Pitt so bad. Pitt may not even be able to field spring football. They beat the brakes out of them so bad. Vanderbilt destroyed Tennessee, and Notre Dame also won, and neither of those teams, all three of them did move up. So he should have, it was like a politician from Miami or New Orleans talking. Their lips are going, but they're just absolutely lying. We know they're in bed together, the SEC and the ESPN. So he just wanted to protect them in case Alabama loses badly on Saturday.
And last year, Alabama, South Carolina, who was the other one that didn't get in? Or 3-9-3 SEC teams that didn't get in? Lee, it don't matter, man. Like, they'll have the final rankings and they'll do whatever. They do whatever they want. It's a TV show, man. Tuesdays are a TV show. Right. So I think Miami will get in. We'll see how it goes.
Right.
All right, let's get to some picks. We'll stay in the ACC. Virginia and Duke.
Okay.
Virginia 3.5. Maybe surprise the line's a little short. What do you think about the ACC championship game?
I think so, too. I watched the first game, and Virginia dominated. They won 34-17, but they had over a 2-1 lead as far as yards were concerned. And Duke has a good offense, but their defense, they can't stop anyone. So usually the weakest unit in a conference championship game costs you the game here. Virginia, at least they had 4 sacks in that game, and they're 28th in sacks. And they get a few pressures, and they'll stall a couple drives. Virginia, 30-24.
Okay. Virginia with the win and the cover. It's going to be interesting because Tulane, North Texas, as playoff implications, right? Tulane wins, they're going to be in. North Texas, explain this one to me, Lee. North Texas a road favorite in this game?
Right. Well, they score. Drew Mestamaker has been an absolute revelation. 29 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So he played in the bowl game. Had never started a game as a quarterback before. He played organized football, but never started a game. Crazy. He's completing almost 71% of his passes, averaging 10 yards per attempt, not per reception, attempt. So they can score 52 or more points in 5 of the last 6 games.
Wow.
And then in the game last year, these teams didn't play each other this year. Ready for this? Tulane had a running back run for 297 yards. So I just think that Retzlaff, who's a dual threat quarterback, he'll go wild against 129th ranked run defense. I'm taking a different approach over 66 total points.
Okay.
I think they score 85, 90 points.
Okay. Man, that'd be a rocking chair. All right, so we like the over in the American Championship game. And I know you got a thought on Georgia-Bama as well. It's so weirdly, I mean, it's like Georgia plays the logo. Bama's 10-1 in the last 11 against Georgia. How does this thing go on Saturday in Atlanta?
Well, most of it, obviously, with Nick Saban. And they did break the streak last year, 33-game home winning streak. But Georgia, I think, went in with 3 approaches to the game last week against Georgia Tech. Win the game, number 1. Not show a whole lot, be vanilla, and not get any injuries. They achieved that a goal on all 3 accounts here. They're going to have a home field advantage here, playing the Mercedes Dome here, and I think they're getting better. I think this Alabama team, they were outstatted by Auburn by 131 yards. They only scored 2 touchdowns at home against LSU. Oklahoma dominated them. I think they've got the better quarterback, the better coaching staff, home field advantage. I think Georgia's going to give them a little payback here, and we're going to have chaos Tuesday night.
Let's go.
Georgia 35-14.
Your lips to God's ears. What do you think would happen there if Georgia blows out Alabama?
They'll still put Alabama in.
You think so? It's just
we'll
interesting, man. Like SMU got in last year.
I would love to. Yeah, I would love to see Texas cancel Ohio State and say we have nothing to gain here. I'd love to see Miami has games next year, next November 9th, and 2 years after that, both at Notre Dame. I'd love to see Miami tell Notre Dame if they don't get in, we're going to play FIU.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Yeah, why would you play the game? Like, you disincentivize playing those games for sure. All right, Lee Sterling's with us. ParamountSports.com. There's 3 NFL games you like. Let's start with Chiefs-Texans. What do we think about the Chiefs there? 3.5 is the number.
Elimination game, so it's going to be really cold. Chiefs have major injuries on the offensive line, and the Texans' offensive line's terrible. They're begging you to take the over with 42 points. You're thinking Patrick Mahomes, C.J. Stroud. We can get at least a 23-20 score. Not so fast. We're going to go under. I think the Chiefs win something like 20-16, but we're going to go under 42 total points.
Look at my guy throwing out some totals today. I love it. And then God bless anyone who watches this game. But Saints, Bucs, big number. It's more than a touchdown, 8.5 in favor of the home team.
Well, hopefully you know a good doctor. You take a sedative before the game, and I did last week before I watched the Miami Saints game. That was painful.
That was brutal.
Bucs at least are getting back Bucky Irvin. They got him back last week, and I think they're a different team with him in the lineup here. Saints they're Saints, and I think we're going to see teams like the Raiders just playing out the string. Bucs 26-10.
Big, okay. And lastly, tonight, Thursday Night Football, Lions-Cowboys. Is this your game of the week? How do people get it if they want it, Lee?
Yep, elimination game, Lions and Cowboys. Whoever wins still has a hope. You lose, you're probably out. First 5 callers get it for free. Call 800-400-9741. Again, the number 800-400-9741. We've won 9 of the last 11 weeks. Check out all the specials. Just one place, ParamountSports.com.
Let's go. I'm pulling for your Canes, man. It's going to be all right. Don't let those Tuesday night rankings get you.
All right, thanks.
Lee, my life is so much happier not watching them Tuesday night ranking show, man. I just blissfully unaware of all of it.
I didn't watch it live. You don't know, Matt. I got so many texts with Hunter Yurachek's. I think it was. I can tell you how long it was because it was 28 seconds. The interview. That's it. So it was embarrassing. You know what? Here's what I hope for him. I hope that he's gone after getting his 5th choice head coach within 2 years. He'll be also fired along with his new head guy that's probably couldn't coach at East Texas State.
ParamountSports.com. ParamountSports.com. He is Lee Sterling. Thanks, Lee. We'll talk next week.
All right.
See you, man. It's After Further Review, brought to you by South Point Volkswagen and SouthPointVW.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. Remember, Sign Then Drive is going on right now. 0 down, 0 due at signing, no first month's payment, no security deposit. Sign your name with little else you're driving away and a brand new Volkswagen from South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. And if you are shopping a pre-owned vehicle, make sure you check out the used vehicles at South Point Volkswagen. They move so much inventory. They got a great selection of pre-owned vehicles with extended warranties as well. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, we got the latest, what we know about the Blake Baker situation. We'll get to it next after SportsCenter.
AFR.
I had an awesome convo earlier this week with Chef Layton over at Supper Club. And if you're not following Supper Club on Instagram, why not? I mean, they are like Instagram famous. You got to go check out Supper Club on Instagram. So they have done, I'm not going to tell you how much they spent, but it's a lot of money, to decorate Supper Club for the holidays. So, like there's always these spots that people go because they do such a beautiful job of decorating, like the Roosevelt Hotel in New Orleans. People love to go in there because the trees and all the decor, you want to take your photos there. I got a feeling Supper Club is going to be like that for a lot of people. You can go check out their Instagram page. They do have a reel up of some of the decorations, but it is gorgeous. Like the experience, the food is amazing. The experience at Supper Club is next level. Get your reservations at supperclubbtr.com.